The Allied forces used mathematics in many different ways to help them win the war. And today we're going to talk about an incredible example called the German tank problem. You see, the German tanks were far superior, and to stop the devastation they were causing and allocate resources properly, it was really important for the Allied forces to be able to accurately estimate the number of tanks produced every month. As expected, one of the strategy was to simply spy on them. However, during battle, they noticed something interesting. As they captured some tanks, they noticed that they had serial numbers, which were whole number integers. And even more importantly, these serial numbers were sequential. For example, this tank had a serial number of 103, and it meant that this was the 103rd production of this month. Although this information was useful, they didn't really capture a lot of tanks. For example's sake, we'll say that they had these 4 tanks with these following serial numbers. Now the question is it possible to guess the total number of tanks with a small sample? And although it seems impossible, the answer is yes, as long as the numbers were sequential and the very first tank was labeled 1. Then you can use this formula, which is very accurate, definitely more accurate than the spies. And here is how it works. You take the maximum serial number among your captured tanks. To that, you add maximum serial number minus the number of tanks captured divided by the number of tanks captured. And although the derivation of this formula is a little complicated, here's the intuition behind it. You see, in this scenario, the key information available to us are the gaps between the serial numbers and the number of tanks captured. So if we take the average gap between the serial numbers, which is the second term of this formula, and add it to the maximum serial number, it turns out that that is a really good estimate of the actual population size. And another thing to notice here is that the average gap decreases as the number of tanks captured increase. Which makes sense because if you capture more tanks, then the maximum serial number is a really good estimate of the actual population size. And so whereas the spies estimated 1400 tanks per month, they used this formula and estimated 255. And once the war was over, the documents revealed that the actual number was 255. They were only off by one number. How cool is math?